thank you and good evening. Colonel Aaron Beng, Fleet Commander of the Republic of Singapore Navy. You are truly a great host besides being a valuable partner. We've had a number of ship visits here. I think it was 14 last year. And we've enjoyed great hospitality. In fact, our sailors look forward to coming to Singapore. In fact, many of them know this city better than I do. And I can tell you they are doing some things for your economy as well. Captain Aditya Hara, commanding officer of this really frontline Indian naval ship, and that says something about his credentials. 3 days ago, you opened out your deck for another grand reception. That was on the occasion of the International Maritime Defense Expo. And as everyone here knows, that was the most well-attended and the best reception among all the ships that were here from various countries. Again, thank you very much for your hospitality and opening up the ship again for us today, especially when you're about to sail for an exercise tomorrow morning. So thank you again. Where is Captain Sriram? Oh, Captain Sriram Amur. If you see that very, very formidable looking ship behind you, that is the INS Shakti, that can generate 9 megawatts of power, or 10, that can carry 15,000 tons of fuel, and it even has a hospital on board. It is a ship that enables our naval fleet to have maximum endurance on seas for days together. So without the INS Shakti, INS Kolkata, which leads the battlefront, will be incomplete. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the teamwork of our naval assets. But a really warm welcome to the guardians of our seas, to the ambassadors of goodwill, to the white knights of hope in times of disaster, to the pride of our nation, our officers and sailors in uniform of the Indian Navy. A round of applause for them. Not many of you would know that they have been out on the seas for nearly 4 months, away from their families, away from their loved ones, out in the service of nation, out in the service of humanity. And if you see their spirit today, it will tell you something about the professional commitment, standards, motivation, morale, and the leadership that is Indian Navy. And finally, to my distinguished guests today, on the shores of a great nation and a really good friend of India, on the sovereign territory of India, on board a world-class ship that is made in India, a very warm welcome to all of you today. This is the beginning of the 26th edition of our bilateral naval exercise with Singapore. That is the longest uninterrupted naval exercise that India has with any country in the world, and that may well be the longest uninterrupted exercise that any two countries have with when they are not allies. So that says something about this importance of this exercise. This exercise features two great navies. The Republic of Singapore Navy is deeply admired around the world, and especially in India, for its professionalism, capabilities, and skills and technology. It not only keeps the world's most sensitive sea lane safe and secure, it performs its duties and undertakes its responsibilities in distant seas with the same degree of commitment and professionalism that it handles its duties in the Straits of Malacca and South China Sea. We have the Indian Navy that not only guards the 7,500 kilometers of our coastline, over 1,200 islands, 2.4 million square kilometers of our exclusive economic zone. But it is also responsible for, and it takes great pride in helping and working with other countries to keep the world's transit ocean, the Indian Ocean, safe, secure, and free for global commerce to flow. It works with littoral states to help build their capacities and their capabilities, help them in their surveillance of their exclusive economic zones, undertake hydrography for them, support their training and their equipment, and work with them in handling some of the great maritime challenges that our region works, because they believe, as the Singapore Navy does, in the creed of cooperation, consultation, and coordination. It's also a Navy that has time and again stood for humanity in times of natural calamities or in times of man-made conflicts. Whether it is the war in Yemen, where they pulled out nationalities from 48 countries, or the war or the conflict in Libya, or the cyclone in Mozambique, or the earthquake in Sulawesi in Indonesia, our naval forces have been among the first to respond to provide rescue, relief, and medical help. But as India's global horizons expand, as we engage more globally, Indian Navy has been a partner, a flag bearer of our diplomacy, has been an invaluable partner for us in our engagement abroad. And nowhere is this seen more than in this region, in Southeast Asia. As you would know, that for 2 millennia, the winds of monsoon have forged this timeless human link between India and Southeast Asia that we see play itself out in daily life in this region. And today, on that ancient route, as we are embarking on a new journey, once again, the Indian Navy is our partner in arms. And nowhere is this more evident than here in Singapore. With no other country in the region do we have such a strong relationship, such a strong defense partnership, and such a close naval cooperation as we do with Singapore. And it is no surprise, because it stems from the relationship that we have and the responsibility that we are prepared to assume. We are two nations defined by democracy and diversity. We have the comfort of our connected histories, our shared heritage, and our people-to-people ties. We have strong and rapidly growing economic relations that calls to the future of our people. But above all, we believe in an open, inclusive, balanced, peaceful Indo-Pacific region that is connected by secure seas, integrated by trade, underpinned by rule of law, and anchored in ASEAN centrality. We are two nations that believe when the seas are calm and safe, they provide the pathways to prosperity and peace. We believe when all countries in the region and in the world adhere to the rule of law, then the world is a more predictable place and a more secure environment. We know that the history of mankind has been shaped as much by the sea as by land. And in the cyber age of the 21st century, the fortunes of nation and the course of history will continue to be shaped by the tides of ocean. But we're also two countries that believe that it is possible for all navies and all countries to work together for a common future of peace and prosperity. And this is why, as two countries that sit astride the most important sea lane of the world, at the two opposite ends of this tube called the Malacca Strait here in South China Sea and the Andaman Seas. A region that has seen contestations, a region that is prone to natural disasters, and a region that is vulnerable to a range of maritime threats. We see the value of our partnership between India and Singapore and with other countries in the region. And that is the real value of India-Singapore defense and maritime cooperation. It is a partnership between two free, equal and sovereign nations, bound by enormous goodwill and a common vision. And therefore, we have an annual Defense Ministers Dialogue. Our permanent secretaries meet annually. Our Army, Navy and Air Force have regular staff talks. We train together in India, our Army and our Air Force. And every year, our navies come together for maritime exercises. But we have extended our horizons beyond our bilateral relationship. We will be launching trilateral exercises and in multilateral forums, whether it is in the Indian Ocean Naval Symposium or IORA, whether it is in RIMPAC in the Pacific, or whether it is in the ADMM Plus or in the exercise minute. We work together for a rule-based order that is the anchor of a peaceful and prosperous future for the world. This is why this exercise that they begin tomorrow assumes great importance. And we wish them well. They are great friends. They have just finished an exercise 7 months ago. They're great partners. And we, to our naval officers and sailors, after this exercise, we wish them Godspeed and safe passage home. And again, a reunion with your loved ones. Thank you very much.